Hello everyone, Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Today we're going to go ahead and take a first-hand look. We're going to go ahead and dive in depth here and review the CNC Q1 Tattoo Machine. Now, me personally, I'm very excited to go ahead and get my hands on and review this machine here with you all. Take a look at it. We're going to test out the performance. We're going to do the full 9. We're going to see how we wrap it, how easy it is to sterilize, how it breaks down, all of that. We're going to go ahead and do everything in this video. So upon doing so, before we continue, the reason why me personally I'm excited is because the Q1 and Q2 both have fault harbor motors, which me personally, I'm just a fan of those motors. That's not to say that like a Swiss motor or any other motors don't perform, but me personally, something about a fault harbor motor is more preferable for me specific, and this is going to vary from everybody, but I just wanted to go ahead and point that out, why I'm excited to go ahead and take a look at this specific tattoo machine right here with you all, simply because of the motor, the simplistic build from what I've seen online. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's unbox it. Let's take a first-hand look, and then let's go ahead and see where we go with it. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox the Q1 now, and the boxes are always standard, as you can see, the standard low profile CNC box. And again, this is the Q1 right here. Let's go ahead and pull the plastic off. Okay, so the plastic is removed. Let's go ahead and take a look at under the hood here. So as soon as we open up, this is what we are greeted with: a manual, the machine, and then contents would be under there as well. This is the user manual for the CNC Q1. You can go ahead and pause the screen should you choose to do so at any point here. It's basically giving you a rundown of everything specific about this machine right here. Now, I am a personal fan of the Q series tattoo machine because of the simplistic design, because of the powerful motors, and the performance as well. That is the manual there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the specific tattoo machine itself here. Okay, so the Q1 here, this is the first time that I've ever seen it in person. And this is what it looks like right here. As you all can see, let me bring it up close. You do get a CNC engraving. You have a nice grip. You can see in the chamber there, it is RCA. And again, as I stated, I am a big fan of the CNC Q series tattoo machines. They are powerful. I've had my I have 2 Q2s that I picked up upon beginning my tattoo journey that I personally love now. I use those all the time. Pretty much on every tattoo, I'm reaching for the Q2. But since the Q1 has the same motor, that's why, again, I'm very excited to test this specific machine out, to go ahead and take a first-hand look at it, to see the performance. And at first glance, what I will say is the machine is very light. It's very, very light. There's a bit more weight right here over the grip area, but that's fine because I'll typically wrap a napkin and then wrap grip around it, which I will go ahead and show you all. That's basically how I would approach it. But nonetheless, though, this specific machine right here, it's very small. The weight, it doesn't feel balanced, so it doesn't feel like the machine's gonna tip back or anything like that. It does have a nice balanced weight. It's not heavy at all, but it's not light either. It does have a nice little balanced weight to it. The feel, it definitely feels of quality. It doesn't feel cheap at all either. As you can see, it is also a click grip, as you can see, or here, which is pretty cool. RCA. So that's the cosmetics. That's what the machine looks like up close. That right there is probably a little lubricant from the factory, which you can go ahead and just simply remove by wiping it away, like so, or even with like just some alcohol wipes. That'll probably be preferable. But nonetheless, here, this machine looks great. I love the way that it feels in my hand. It's very, very light. What I want to go ahead and do is I want to get a little bit more familiar with the machine itself. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. I'm going to get a bit familiar with the machine, and then we're going to go ahead and come back. I'm going to show you all how I would disassemble, reassemble. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the machine and the internal components of this machine. Okay, so this is literally about 5 minutes later. The CNC Q1 is a lot like the CNC Q2. However, Me personally, at this moment, I can't say that I favor the Q1 over the Q2. However, it's really close. Let me go ahead and remove this so I can show you how simple it is to actually disassemble and reassemble the machine. Okay, so here's the Q2. What you can go ahead and do is simply start removing the grip like so. And this will come right off. Place that right there. And the housing and the motor is over here. So this is another housing. And again, to clean off all the excess lubricant there, it's simple alcohol. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and have the machine broken down. So you have the middle component right here, you have the grip, and then you have the top part with the motor. So this is what the motor looks like up close. We are going to go ahead and test the performance here. However, for me personally though, the CNC Q1 is super easy to, it's going to be easy to sterilize, it's going to be easy to disinfect and reassemble. So to reassemble, you would simply repeat the process in reverse. Go ahead and drop that part in there. As you can see, that just screws right back in. The threading on here are perfect. They're really easy to work with. The Q2 is a bit more difficult. And then you would just repeat that. Place this on there like so. That is a lot of lubricant. I'll go ahead and remove some before I actually start using this for tattooing. But for demonstration purposes, I don't think it really matters. And then you're just gonna go ahead and re-screw the grip back on. And that is it. I have a shop wipe here. You can just go ahead, and it has a little bit of alcohol in it, so you can just go ahead and wipe it down. Should you have excess oil, it'll remove it. So as you all can see, it'll take me less than a minute to break it down and put it back together. You can go ahead and drop the grip into an autoclave machine if I'm correct. You can go ahead and sterilize the entire body right here with a chemical bath. You can go ahead and wipe this whole entire thing down with super sandy cloth. So in terms of sterilization and utilization, it's actually really good. It's actually perfect if you ask me. The design is sleek, the design is simple, not to mention it has a powerful motor. That's awesome. I think that it'd be awesome if we had disposable grips for the Q series tattoo machines. In my personal opinion, that'd be great, especially in different sizes. That would be cool. So in terms of like usability, setting up, breaking down, disassembly, and cosmetics of the machine, I give this machine a thumbs up. As you all can see right here, it's very user friendly, very easy to work with. Again, not to mention the Fall Harbor motor, which is a powerful German made motor. So right now at this specific moment, I'm kind of asking myself, what is there not to like? I want to go ahead and I want to basically show you all how I would wrap the machine. We're going to go ahead and plug in a wireless power supply. We're going to go ahead and plug in a standard power supply to go ahead and just kind of demonstrate how I would approach wrapping this specific machine. And we will go ahead and get into the performance. We're going to go ahead and push different needle configurations as well. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for that, and let's go ahead and take a closer look in that aspect of this machine. Forgive me, prior to actually proceeding, we never looked at the contents at the bottom of the box. So technically we wouldn't have unboxed the full video here, or unboxed the full contents of the package. And at the bottom of the box, we have a foam padding there, and then we have the box that comes with the clip cord here, as you can see, as well as some O-rings and the tool there for your machine. I'm a personal fan of these just because they're super light, they're user friendly, they're easy to work with. Thank you, CNC. I definitely appreciate the cord as well, with the spare O-rings, which is great because we will need them over time. So that is the entire contents of what comes in the box. Forgive me there for not following that through there earlier on in the video. So now let's go ahead and proceed. Let's go ahead and wrap this. Let's go ahead and see how we could approach it. So how I would personally go about wrapping the Q1 is I'm going to use a barrier. I'm going to use grip tape and another shop wipe here to wrap around the grip. And the approach is very straightforward, very simple. I'm gonna go ahead and want a barrier around the Q1. And I'm also going to demonstrate with a wireless power supply. And we can also go ahead and just plug in a standard power supply as well to go ahead and kind of demonstrate how we would wrap with both here. So proceeding front, when you buy a bundle with CNC, you're gonna go ahead and get these specific slips. These are great for the CNC X1, they're great for the CNC WE, they're great for the Q series. Any pen style tattoo machine, these slips are great for. So how I would do it is I'm going to go ahead and just simply input the Q1 into the slip. So that way, again, we have a barrier around the machine itself. It's like a perfect fit there, as you can see. It's a bit tight, but that's all right. So now that we have a barrier around the machine itself, I don't want to go ahead and overlap the plastic too much. There's multiple ways that you can go about this. If you're gonna use a wireless power supply, this is a WX2, or if you're gonna use a standard power supply. Standard power supply is very straightforward and direct. You can go ahead and plug it in. And this plastic here, you can simply wrap it around and then tape both plastics together here, and then apply your grip however you would like on your end. So that's basically how you can go about that with the standard power supply, as you can see right here. Just overlap the plastics, tape them, you will be good to go. For this specific video though, I'm gonna go ahead and run wireless. When we test the performance out, I wanna be full wireless. So we're gonna go ahead and use this one, which is a bit more complicated, as you can see the awkward battery shape. So for this, I'll just simply plug it in. And then from here, I'm gonna go ahead and leave some slack in the plastic right here, so that way I could adjust the needle depth right here, as you all can see. So I always do like to leave a little bit of slack where the adjustment happens. Let's go ahead and set the depth. Anytime I do a tattoo, I like to set the needle depth prior to actually fully setting up the machine. So I'll put a barrier, and then I'll go ahead and put the needle in. This is going to be a Quill 11 round liner bug pin. So right now we were at 7.2 volts. Okay, so I have my needle depth adjusted. I would simply go ahead and put my needle aside and then proceed accordingly. To wrap this right here, I would just simply use saran wrap to go ahead and place it around. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do though is I'm going to get a napkin. I'm going to fold it up and wrap it around the machine grip, so that way I get a nice grip to provide me with a little bit more stability and comfortability upon tattooing. How I do that is I just get this towel, wrap it up like so, as you can see, grab the machine and then wrap that around like so. I want there to be a lot of fluff, so I'm not gonna press down too hard. So that's how I have it right now. And then from that point forward, I go ahead and I grab my grip tape, place it where I feel like I should. And on the first time around, I pull kind of hard here to hold everything in place and to hold the plastic and everything. So I'll pull, wrap around like once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then I'll just do a little bit more. Now you can go ahead and double up on the napkin should you choose. You can double up on the grip however you want, but right now again we're demonstrating, so I'm just trying to get my points across in this video. For this specific part right here, what you can go ahead and do is just simply grip around that part like so. However, since we're using a wireless power supply, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some saran wrap, and then we're gonna put saran wrap around there. Grab my plastic roll here, place it right here, create a barrier basically around the entire battery, so that way nothing is exposed. And I always grab the ends, as you can see it's all the way around, and I twist them right here to the sides because that's where I'm going to go ahead and grab when I'm done from, so I can pull it off easy. You can double up, the plastic is very thin, so I always double up. You don't have to should you choose not to, but for me I just feel better doing so. Aesthetically it doesn't look the best, but gets the job done. Same approach, we're gonna go ahead and wrap that right there. And as you can see, we have a nice thickened plastic barrier around our battery. Now from that point forward, what I go ahead and do is I take the rest of the grip and I wrap it around this area of the machine, simply because my hand does sit on that area, as you can see upon tattooing. And then that process is just straightforward, very simple. So I wait to add the second wrapping around here, and I don't really pull it either. I don't want that to be thin. I want it to be thicker so that way there's more cushion. So essentially I would just kind of unroll the rest here and then kindly wrap it around. I'm not putting any pressure, I'm just allowing it to adhere to itself. And that's how I'm going to go ahead and wrap the Q1 right here. Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. This reminds me a lot of the Q2. I'm excited to see the performance, but nonetheless, wrapping the machine, putting a barrier around it is as seamless as well. It does work with a standard power supply, wireless power supply. We are at 7.2 volts, 7.3, so 7.5. Let's go ahead and take a listen. The machine sounds great. It sounds smooth. Let's go ahead and put a needle in there and let's go ahead and just hear how it sounds pushing a configuration. This is going to be an 11 round liner. This is a Quill 11 round liner. 7.5 volts. It's very consistent. It feels good in my hand. It definitely, again, reminds me a lot of the Q2. So off the bat, I am a personal fan of this machine right here. I am, again, very excited to test out this machine. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're going to get out the Real Skin scratch pad. We're gonna go ahead and test some lines. We're gonna run some shaders. We're gonna pull lines with shaders. We're gonna pack some black with some mags. We're gonna go ahead and do the whole nine here so that we can get an idea of the performance and how this specific machine performs and pushes different needle configurations. Here is the handy dandy Real Scratch Skin we now use just to practice and demonstrate. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a needle configuration. I'm not gonna push this 11 round liner. I wanna go ahead and start with, let's say, some sort of round shader. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna begin and push lines with a 14 round shader. We're gonna be using a Rain 14 round shader. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull some lines with that configuration and we're gonna see how it pulls. Now, as I noticed here, just putting in the needles, this is a different needle. Quill was simple, the Rain is simple. It's a very easy configuration here. It's a very easy setup. It's not hard, there is no tension whatsoever. Simply slide and lock in, and they stay locked. You can feel it when it locks in as well. So I just want to go ahead and point that out for those who are curious about how it feels upon putting the needles in. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and pull some lines with this 14 round shader. Pushing the 14 round shader configuration is very smooth. It feels consistent as well. We are also pushing at 7.5. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there for now, and we're gonna go ahead and see how it pulls lines at 7.5. Now, one thing off the bat that I noticed is I'm a big fan of the give here. So as you can see, it pulled a very nice saturated line. Let's go ahead and clean this off with Vaseline for those who are curious, and let's wipe away. And as you can see, it left us with a very nice full black saturated line. We're gonna go ahead and just proceed here, and we're gonna just pull some lines and we're gonna see how consistent the machine performs. And it has that give. It has a very nice give system, which I'm a big fan of as well. I've used machines that have like just a direct hit. What you put in is what you get. I'm more of a fan of the machines that like have a bit of resistance. When you press the needle down to the canvas, you can go ahead and feel, you know, the needle being pushed back a bit. I'm a big fan of that because that helps me find the dermis and stay more consistent. Everybody's different. You may like more of a direct hit. Me personally, I like systems that have a give in there. So nonetheless though, what I am looking at is this is pulling lines or pushing this 14 round shader and pulling lines with ease. And again, I'm at 7.5. Typically when I use round shaders, I'll bump it up to 7.8, but I wanted to just see how it performed at this specific voltage. I'm being as consistent as I can throughout each line that I'm applying. And the machine is performing flawlessly. I love the way that these lines are being pulled. And this last line that I'm pulling here, as you can see, these lines are consistent throughout the entire system here that I'm pulling. Let me go just do one left to right. And let's do a little bit longer of a line. So yeah, I love the way this machine pushes this specific configuration. As you can see, pushing round shaders with the Q1 is awesome. I'm a personal fan of that. Everything was smooth. Each line I pulled, it was very consistent. Let me go ahead and grab another needle configuration. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull a push a 27 round mag, and we're gonna go ahead and pack some black here, and we're gonna go ahead and see how the machine packs black. And we're gonna be using a Rain 27 round mag, and we're also going to be pushing at 7.5 volts. So I'm gonna go ahead and just test out how it pushes and packs here. So we're just gonna go ahead and just start packing in an area. And we are still pushing, I'm not sure if I stated, 7.5 volts. Moving in nice, fluid, consistent motions. Making sure that I stay the same depth. And what I'm looking at is, it's pushing the configuration just fine. I don't feel the need to actually take the voltage up either. I could keep it at 7.5 should I choose, just changing my hand speed and a little bit of my technical approach. But it is pushing this 27 round mag with ease, as you can see. And it is definitely saturating and packing black. I don't have to do many passes at all. So right now I am loving the way that this is performing. And again, we're using one consistent voltage. We're not changing or fluctuating voltages. I'm trying to keep this demonstration here as transparent and easy to consume as possible. So I don't want to be bouncing around in voltages while I'm trying to demonstrate the performance. We are still at 7.5. I'm not sure if you all can see that though. 7.5 volts there. We did not change it. I'm gonna be just straight front. When I had got the machine in my hands, I was thinking that the machine was gonna perform a certain way, but now that I'm actually using it, it's exceeding my expectations and what I thought, which is why assumption-based thinking is never good. However, this machine right here definitely feels great in my hand. I don't feel any vibration at all, which is also what I'm noticing as well. It has a very light vibration, so that's also good, especially if you do long sessions. You get a powerful motor, a powerful, reliable motor, not to mention the longevity that you'll be able to have. You'll have more stamina upon tattooing because the vibration's so low. The noise isn't loud either, so it'll be less intimidating for your client and more bearable for the entire session. So as you can see, I always get carried away with packing black, but this is pushing and packing black wonderfully. We are pushing a 27 round mag, and it's pushing with ease. The machine doesn't feel hot, the battery doesn't feel warm, nothing feels hot at all. Everything feels copacetic, as it should, I feel. Let's go ahead and approach some stipple shading. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we approach with a smaller configuration, such as a bug pen 3 round liner, and let's go ahead and see how the machine pushes, and let's see what sort of effect we get. So when I'm pushing the smaller configurations, I'll drop it to about 5 volts. It really all depends on the design at hand and what the motions that I'm using at that moment in time, but nonetheless I always take it down. So right now we're going to take it down to 5 volts even, as you can see. And when I'm running this low, in the voltage range, there is hardly no vibration from the Q1 at all. However, it's still pushing the needle like I needed to, so that's great. I'm gonna go ahead and use straight black here. This is going to be Formula 23 that I'm using. If I haven't mentioned that, I will bring a review on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and now this machine feels like a brush upon stippling. It definitely has a brush-like feel because that give that it provides with the small needle configuration and the low voltage, it definitely feels more like a brush. which is great, which would give me a lot more time over the skin, cause less trauma as well. So I'm not sure if you all can see that. It definitely does feel like a brush. Stippling with the CNC Q1 feels great. Let me go ahead and bring you all up close so you guys can see what it looks like here. So let me go ahead and pause the video. Let me give you a better view. One moment. So right now we're gonna be pushing a bug pin 3-round liner, and we're just gonna do some stipples here. Now again, with that give that it provides and my low voltage and the needle configuration, it feels like a brush. It doesn't feel like I'm pushing a needle here, which is great if you ask me. I like that. I like that feel. I don't necessarily want to feel like I'm using a tattoo machine. So as you can see though, with stippling it performs well. And for me personally, this is like my go-to style of shading. So that's why I always demonstrate that shading within my videos. But as you all can see, it's definitely doing what it's supposed to. Let me go ahead and turn the skin this way so we can go ahead and see a clearer view. Here's a better view of some stipple shades. So make a little triangle here. So as you can see, this machine definitely performs in shading. I love the way this machine feels for shading. Me personally, this machine feels outstanding for shading. I'm a big fan of stipple shading. So the way that this specific setup feels, the CNC Q1, it feels amazing. So for stipple shading, it is definitely 2 thumbs up for me. Let me go ahead and let's push maybe let's see what this is. I have a Stigma 11 round liner. This is going to be in a bug pin 11 round liner. Let's go ahead and push an 11 round and let's see how that works out. I'm gonna go ahead and take it back up to the 7 range. So we're gonna take it back up to 7.5. And let's go ahead and pull some lines with the 11 round liner here. Needle depth isn't sticking out as far as I want it to, but for demonstration purposes, it'll do. Oh yeah, so it's definitely pulling lines and saturating. I'm at 7.5 volts. I use 7.5 volts for everything from the round mag to the round shader. This is a round liner. And as you can see, it's pulling lines well with ease. And just to confirm, this is the CNC Q1 Tattoo Machine here. There's some dots just to test out the performance and go above and beyond here. So overall, this machine feels great in my hands. I love the way that this machine performs. I love the way it pulls lines. I love the give system. This is definitely a machine that I would reach for upon having the Q2. So typically I'll set up, like if I'm gonna be doing a arm sleeve or something to that extent, I'll go ahead and set up 2 machines. This is just my thought process. I would go ahead and set up 2 machines in the past, which would have been the Q2s or the Q2 and the WE. So now I'll have the option to use a Q2, a Q1. I can use the Q3 and the Q2. I would use the Q3 for shading, the Q2 for lining. I would use the Q1 for dot work and for shading, and I would use the Q2 for lining. It varies. I would even use a Q1 for the entire tattoo. Like if I had 2 Q1s, and I can use both of those back to back, or you know, one for shading, one for lining, and have those set up differently with different needle depths and stuff like that, so I didn't have to adjust them. Again though, not that adjusting is difficult. It's not difficult at all. Right, I can actually just adjust the needle depth right now should I choose to. See, so adjusting the needle depth isn't hard at all. So it's pushing this round liner, great. I love the way that it pushes that round liner. Let me go ahead and bring back the other configuration. Let me go ahead and bring back a round shader so that way you guys can see it up close here and I guess get a better look at how it pushes the round shaders. And then we can go ahead and close out the video. I can give you more of an honest opinion on what I feel about the Q1, and I can tell you all why. So we're again at 7.5. We're going to be pushing a 14 round shader. Just wanted to go above and beyond for you all and bring you all up close here. So as you can see, it saturates. It's an amazing machine in my opinion. This thing does everything that I would need it to do. I would feel confident using just this machine for an entire piece. I'd be able to shade, I'd be able to align, I'd be able to push my round shaders, I'd be able to do dot work, I'd be able to pack color if I needed to. Whatever the case may be, I'd be able to utilize this machine and do all of that. So as you can see again, we're pushing the 14 round shader and it is pushing with ease. I love the way that this machine feels in my hand overall. It feels great. Low vibration, low noise, which is good for you and your client. The last thing I would want to do is scare my client with a loud machine. So as you can see, this thing pulls lines and it is pushing those shaders as well. We're getting full, nice, thick, bold, saturated lines. We get nice, saturated round liners, round shaders. The machine packed black right here. Let's actually go ahead and, if I'm gonna go above and beyond, let's do it. Go ahead and I'm going to push a round shader and then we can go ahead and close out the video. So here is pushing a round shader, I'm sorry, a round magnum up close. And this is going to be a 27 round mag. And as you can see, I'm not pressing down, I'm actually letting the natural pressure of me tattooing the canvas take hold, and I'm just applying my motions in a fluid motion, making sure that I can get the areas without hitting it too many times. And as you can see, it's saturating with ease. It is definitely packing that black. That is all saturated. It's all evenly saturated to mention as well. So as you can see, it's definitely packing black as well. Overall, of this machine right here is definitely worth the investment. So let's go ahead and switch the view back up to the top and let's go ahead and close out the video here. Okay, so we are back at the top view. We went ahead, we pushed round shaders, we went ahead, we wrapped the machine. The sterilization process will be very, very straightforward. I will go ahead and make an in-depth video and show you all how I do that. There's multiple ways to go ahead and do that, so I don't want to try and actually cover every single thing in a video, as that would be hours. But overall, we showed how we would break down the machine and reassemble the machine. In that instance, it also shows how easy it is to sterilize the machine. We also wrapped the machine. We pushed round magnums, 27 round mags. We pushed 11 round liners. We went, I think this is an 11, or it looks more like a 9 round liner. It could be either or. Either way, we pushed round mags, we pushed round liners, we pushed round shaders, and it performed in every aspect, if you ask me. Professionally, as you can see, the black is nice and even as we would want our packing to be. As you can see, the lines, they're nice, bold, saturated, and even. Let me go ahead and show you all these over here as well. As you can see, the stipple shading is nice and peppery. It has a great transition there as well, from darker to light. As you can see, the round liner, I believe that's gonna be a 9 round liner. Either way though, the round liner was pushed correctly. I feel like it was pushed with ease rather. As you can see, the round shader as well, I feel like that was pushed with ease as well. As you can see, everything is consistent, everything is nice, bold, and saturated. And as you can see, the packing of the black over here as well is also consistent. The CNC Q1 definitely gets a thumbs up from me. And again, these are my honest opinions right here, live, real time. This is my thought process that I'm sharing with you all. I'm not trying to overcomplicate the video. I'm trying to keep this video in the most easiest consumable format, bringing my opinions straight to you, real time. You will see me pull the lines, you will see me pack the black, unpack the box, or unbox the box rather, the entire 9. Overall though, what I am saying is that the CNC Q1 is an outstanding machine. This is a great machine right here to have if you are looking for a new machine, or you're trying to invest into a high quality machine without breaking the bank. I definitely recommend looking into the CNC Q1. All of the Q series have been amazing in my opinion. I've tried the CNC Q1, Q2, Q3, and I've also tried I have the Q5 that we're also going to unbox together as well. So majority of the Q series I have tried, and the Q1, I can speak from my personal experience using this right here, that this machine is amazing. I am doing a new follow along series where I provide you all with tattoo stencils. You download them on your end and tattoo them with me. So I am going to be using the CNC tattoo machines, or my tattoo machines, in those series. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me and go ahead and follow along with me. I will go ahead and elaborate on the machines that I use, so you can go ahead and see them in their performance more, and you can also learn along the way should you choose to do so. But overall, back to the Q1, I do highly recommend this machine. I give the CNC Q1 a thumbs up. I give it a 5 stars, and here is why. I give it a thumbs up, I give it a 5 stars because of the simplistic build, because it is easy to maintain, it is easy to disassemble, easy to put back together. The motor alone is what sold me on the machine. You get a high quality motor at a fraction of any cost that you would see typically on the market. So that is also a plus. The machine felt smooth. There is nothing that I would really have to say that in terms of negative about the machine, other than that the grip is a bit small. Like the body goes from a bigger body to a smaller grip, which is what I'm not truly a fan of. However, you saw how a napkin and some grip tape fixed that issue easily for me. So it isn't anything to, I guess, bring up, or that would break a deal, or that would break the deal for the Q1. That is pretty much the only thing that I would say adverse about the machine. However, this specific machine overall, it's definitely a 5 out of 5. It's definitely a 2 thumbs up from me. Again, because of the simplistic build, the user friendliness, you can break it down, put it back together very, very easily, sterilize effectively. The machine has a high quality motor. The motor alone, again, is what sold me. So that alone is why I give this machine a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, and a 5 stars. If I didn't touch base on anything specific throughout this video that you may have wanted to know, by all means, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'm always going to go ahead and do my best to assist you in the best possible direction that I possibly can. If you're not, be sure to go ahead and give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as I would genuinely appreciate your support. I'm on social media all under the same name at Daniel Yuck, DANIELYUCK. Yet again, I would genuinely appreciate your support. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, as I will be bringing you more videos like this. Thank you for tuning in yet again. You have a great day.